Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with an old school wrestling for you today. I already shot a review for the Snyder Cut for Justice League, but I am a few videos behind. I do want to get to the Best Picture nominees, so I figured I'd hammer out another one of these while I'm still cooking dinner. So let's talk about the old school wrestling. This month I want to talk about my personal favorite Wrestlemania, because we are in Wrestlemania season. My personal favorite Wrestlemania of all time is Wrestlemania 19. Now, of course, there are other Wrestlemanias that have, my favorite matches or main events or title changes, all that kind of stuff, or even entrances, probably all on other Manias. But as far as match for match, overall card, who wins, loses, just, the formatting of it, just everything, it's my favorite Wrestlemania, personally. It was held on March 30th, 2003, Wrestlemania 19, of course, in Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. There were 54,000 people there, 9 matches on the card, so let's get into it. The opening bout was for the Cruiserweight Championship. Matt Hardy version 1 defending against Rey Mysterio with Shannon Moore in his corner. And also Ray Jr. was the dressed like Daredevil this year. The first time he come out dressed as a superhero for a WWE show, even though he did this stuff that quite often in WCW. Also, real quick, the commentating team, because this was the first WrestleMania after the brand split, therefore it was the first WrestleMania that was WWE. It was also made it the first WrestleMania had 2 World Championship matches, or at least 2 different world titles and different title defenses, you know what I mean? The commentary teams representing Monday Night Raw were Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, legendary team, and for SmackDown, Michael Cole and Taz, legendary team. Just great stuff here, y'all. Now, the opening match is almost too damn fast. They're just like, no one really sells anything in this match. Matt Hardy hits his finisher, twist of fate, Ray Jr. kicks out, no sells it, pops right up, gets back to hopping around. Power bomb off the top rope, no sell, hop up and starts popping around again. It was great. The finish goes to Ray Jr. goes for a victory roll. Matt Hardy grabs the ropes and retains the Cruiserweight Championship. And even though it's very, very fast-paced, it's hard for me to not think of this as one of the better opening matches in the history of WrestleMania. WrestleMania has a bad habit of really rushing through their opening matches. And this match was really rushed too, but the fact that it was 2 guys that had good chemistry and didn't fight 300,000 times. This is a good one. I enjoy this match. The next up we get to Limp Bizkit doing Rollin' Live. Or Limp Bizkit, my ass. It's Fred Durst and his session band. Whoa. And they do Rollin' to play The Undertaker to the ring. This will be his last WrestleMania during the American Badass era. He's in a handicap match against the Big Show and A-Train, Albert, Inside, Prince Albert, whatever you want to call him, the Giant Bernard. Now, this was supposed to be a tag team match with Nathan Jones, but thank God Nathan Jones got pulled at the last minute. And yeah, Nathan Jones sucked anyway. He never was good in the ring, never had a good match. Now, a lot of people shit on this match, but I enjoy this match for the most part. I mean, yeah, sure, it's not the most legendary of Undertaker's Mania record, but hell, he beat between these 2 guys, he beat 800 pounds worth of man in this fucking match. And you're just going by A-Train, that's at least 400 pounds worth of head. Some bitch got a big head is my point. Taker hits the tombstone on A-Train after Nathan Jones runs in, does a spin kick on the Big Show. And, yeah, of course, Taker wins. Like I said, I've always enjoyed this match for the most part, but I thought the damn match he had the month earlier with the Big Show and No Way Out was way better. It's actually one of my favorite big man matches. Another match that gets shit on by the fans way too much. Up next is the triple threat match for the Women's Championship. Victoria with Steven Richards in her corner, defending against Triple H, Trish Stratus, and Jazz. You take out Victoria and throw in Lita. This was the exact same women's match that they had at WrestleMania the year earlier. But to be fair, Trish is a lot better in the ring at this time than she was at that time. And she was already getting better at that time anyway. This is actually a fairly good match all around. Crowd is 100% behind Trish. There's a lot of traditional things. You know, the heels double team, the baby face until it comes to who's going to steal the victory kind of stuff. Eventually Trish hits the damn satisfaction on Stevie Richards after Richards' dumbass hits himself in the face with a steel chair. After bouncing off the top rope, he hits satisfaction. Trish hits a chick kick on Victoria and becomes the new women's champion. Trish Stratus would end up holding the WWE Women's title 7 different times, but I do believe this is the only time she won the title. I don't mean retained the title, but won the title, went in and challenged and became new champion at WrestleMania. I believe this was the only time she ever did that. Another really good match. Up next is another triple threat match, but now the tag team division and on SmackDown now. It is Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, the tag team champions, defending against Chris Benoit. Not quite yet the world's greatest tag team. They're still Team Angle, even coming out to Angle's theme music and wearing his singlets. They're defending the titles against Los Guerreros, Eddie and Chavo, and Chris Benoit and Rhino. I got to say, we were watching this match the other night. This kind of wasn't really in a mood to watch a Chris Benoit match, but you know, him and Eddie just had magnificent chemistry, and all 6 guys in this match are really, really good in the ring. The finish comes where Rhino just comes in there, goes fucking gore crazy. Takes out first takes out Charlie Haas, then takes out Chavo, and then Eddie pulls Rhino out of the ring to stop him from pinning. But Shelton Benjamin steals the cover, and Team Angle retain the titles. The second the bell rings, Charlie Haas is over there with the belt, helping Shelton Benjamin up, even though Haas is the one that just ate the spear. Kind of really didn't work for me, that concept of that, which guy was selling. The wrong guy in the team was selling. Haas was the one that got hit with the finisher. Benjamin was the one that just stole the cover. Should have been Benjamin kind of picking up his partner, grabbing the belt, and trying to get the hell out of there. That was backwards to me. Up next is a grudge match between Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels. This is genuinely one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time, and dare I say, the best match of Chris Jericho's entire career. I even love the match package before this match. The great intros, and even though Shawn Michaels' damn pyro, it's feather gun malfunctions on him. Who the hell gave him a feather gun anyways? It's such a bad idea. Anyhow, well, there's just too much to talk about. The match goes like 23-25 minutes, and it's just phenomenal. Michaels goes for a dropkick on the floor, gets caught on the walls of Jericho on the floor, where Jericho milks that 10 count. Jericho apes Shawn Michaels at one point doing a nip up, sweet chin music and everything. One point he catches Michaels in a third walls of Jericho, and he just thinks he taps out, drops on his knees, begging the referee to tell me he tapped out. Runs right into sweet chin music, but kicks out. Great part where they go for, Jericho's going for both men standing on the top rope, going for a back body drop off the top rope. Michaels switches direction in mid-air, changes it into a crossbody. Fucking beautiful. And then there's the finish. Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Michael smacks his back upside down on the turnbuckle, falls back out of it. Same injury that they always played for years. It kind of aggravated his back injury during his match with Austin 5 years earlier at Mania. Jericho goes for another back body drop. Michaels lands on his feet, gets him in a really cool jumping springboard. Not a springboard, but like a roll through. A unique kind of roll up. It's not like a schoolboy or a victory roll, just this really cool looking roll up. I don't know the name for it. I'm sure there is a name for it. If you know, let me know. Gets a 3 count and just a fucking absolute classic WrestleMania match here. After the match, Michaels goes to shake hands on Jericho, who had been an utter piece of shit the entire feud. Jericho instead goes in for a hug and kicks Michaels right in the nuts before walking out like a baby. Great stuff. Just great stuff all around here. We go to a Limp Bizkit does another performance. They do Crack Addict. Imagine that today. Crack Addict being the theme song to WrestleMania in modern times. It's not ever going to happen. I mean, not ever again, at least. I guess they were actually showing like little footage and match packages hyping up the 4 big matches to come. But all you see on the screen is just goddamn Fred Durst hopping around like an idiot. So we get to the lingerie, Playboy, evening gown, pillow fight, whatever thing. It's the two guest stars, the Miller Lite Catfight girls, who popped up at the beginning of the night. They've been arguing over who's going to win certain matches all night. And finally, they've been been walking around with Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler. So now the 4 girls are going to roll around in their bra and panties on a bed on the stage while Coach acts like a total dork. I guess Stacy Keibler wins it because she rolls up Coach and another girl does the count, and then they all just stand there and pose together. It's not a match. It's really, 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 really weird match to have on the WrestleMania card when you consider, that the Raw Tag Team titles got bumped from the main card. John Cena and Rikishi had a program going on at the time. I guess that match got bumped or something happened. I think John Cena was going to do a rap battle with a rapper, and the rapper didn't show up. Pull a no-show, but there's just... Jeff Hardy was on the roster. Test was over at this time. Billy Kidman was still pretty popular and in great shape. There are people who could have used this few minutes at WrestleMania. Hell, they could have put this time and just applied it to the opening Cruiserweight title match and let that flesh out a little bit more. But yeah, it didn't really need to be on the show, but at the same time, it's not like it goes on for 10 minutes. And, I mean, yeah, come on. I'm not going to complain too much about pretty women on my television. Anyhow, up next is get to our main event. First up is the infamous World Heavyweight title match. Triple H with Ric Flair in his corner defending it against Booker T. Now, going into this match back in the day, I was super stoked because I thought Booker T and Triple H on paper was brilliant. Both guys are similar height, similar weight, similar build, but they had nothing in common. Different backgrounds, different ways they get into wrestling, different methods in the ring, different chemistries all around. I thought it was going to be a great matchup. And the truth is, they should have had a great match. But it's not a bad match. It really isn't. But just all it really comes down to, it just really rubbed everybody the wrong way. Triple H does go to the race card, does play racist in the feud building up to this match. I mean, the most notable one is when he hands Booker T money and tells him, he says, "Get me a towel, boy," or however he puts it. Yeah, man, you really wanted to see Triple H get his ass handed to him. And not only does Booker T lose here, but how he loses. He gets hit with a pedigree, and then like a full 30 seconds damn near later, Triple H pins him, and Booker T loses the match. They did have a rematch, I think went to a no contest on like Raw. Booker T didn't get close to the world title scene for another 3 years. It was bullshit. He got robbed and ripped off. And it was fucked up. What was good about this match, Booker T pulling out his old tag team finisher from WCW from the Harlem Heat, the Harlem Hangover, like a flipping leg drop from the top rope. Same thing with Triple H pulling out the Indian Deathlock as a submission hold. That was really cool. Triple H kind of showing respect to his cornerman Ric Flair, wrestling in purple trunks instead of his traditional. I mean, how many times has Triple H wrestled in anything other than black or green? But just there's things the match has going for it, and also looking back now, the way Triple H does WrestleMania, it's kind of fascinating to see him on the card and not having this huge elaborate 12-minute entrance. You know what I mean? Anyhow, shit. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Y'all even get the "come on, baby" cocky pin in the Michaels Jericho match. It's a perfect match. Anyhow, up next, oh my god, 20 years in the making, the street fight. Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus Mr. McMahon. The whole stipulation here, of course, is if McMahon wins, Hogan must retire. Anyhow, I always thought it was weird McMahon comes out second. I mean, Hogan is the face. Hogan is fucking Hogan. Hogan's career is on the line. Why does McMahon come out second? Just weird. Anyhow, this is a great match. A lot of people have said that this is McMahon's best match as a wrestler he's ever had, and I actually would wholeheartedly agree. It's brutal. It's horrific. Fucking McMahon stays in there, gives him a fight the whole goddamn time. Damn it. Most famous parts of the Legion just wail away on each other with fucking steel chairs. Maybe even the same steel chair. McMahon pulls out a damn ladder and jumps off the ladder onto Hogan through the table. That was insane. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think that's the only time anyone has ever put Hulk Hogan through a table. I might be wrong about this, but that might be the only time. Roddy Piper interferes with a lead pipe, knocks out Hulk Hogan, and leaves. The Sylvain Grenier, who's at the time a back pocket referee working for McMahon, just months before he ended up joining La Resistance and becoming a future multi-time tag team champion. He runs out. Hogan, McMahon hits the leg drop. Of course, Hulk Hogan kicks out, hulks up, throws the referee out, hits 1, 2, 3 leg drops on McMahon just because he can, pins him. Original referee runs back in, and Hogan wins and continues his career, even though he would only have, I believe, one more pay-per-view match before he would leave the company in the summer anyway. After the match, Shane McMahon comes down. I think this was the first time we'd seen Shane McMahon since Survivor Series in 2001, like the end of the Alliance storyline. And he comes down to help his dad, and the segment ends with see McMahon shooting the bird. Oh, I didn't even mention the great shot of McMahon coming up over the ring with that huge smile, face covered in blood. He's got the weapon. That's just good movie making right there, sir. Semi-main event time: The Rock versus Stone Cold 3. Before I get into the match, I just got to point out, earlier in the night, The Rock cuts, in my opinion, the best promo of his entire career. Basically compares the match to 3 acts, or where call it like he's the hero of the story. It doesn't matter what happens to him in Act 1 and Act 2. All that matters is Act 3 when I finally win. So this was Austin's retirement match. He never wrestled again after this. Not even a stand on the apron, come in, hit a stunner, and get over somebody, bury a young squirt kind of thing, which lots of guys have done. Hogan, Michaels, Lawler, so far, other than Austin, no one has been above just coming out of retirement, out of nowhere, to bury somebody management doesn't like at the time. None of them seem to be above it, other than Austin. Anyhow, yeah, this is, in my opinion, Austin's maybe the best match of his career. I mean, I understand why he wouldn't think it is, but you just see so much of the pain and the anguish and the desperation. He doesn't look like a man trying to win the match. He looks like a man trying to leave it in the ring. Trying to leave this match, leave this ring tonight, knowing it's his last round, just wanting to make sure he does the best goddamn match he possibly can do right now, and damn sure does. Every time he hits his head, every time he just goes to get off the mat, you can feel it. You get just amazing performance from Steve Austin, because I really don't know how much of it is the performance. You know what I mean? And then there's Rock just camping it up with the shit with the vest and just playing up the crowd, and it's a great show. It's just a great showing, a great performance, and a great conclusion to one of wrestling's, if not wrestling's greatest rivalry of all time. I mean, I love how their final round really had no stakes, really had no bragging rights. It's WrestleMania. Austin's leaving. Let's do this one more time. And it's great. It's wonderful. And like I said, it wasn't in any way promoted that this was going to be Austin's last match. In fact, I think just maybe Steve, Vince, and Ross knew at the time. I don't even know if Rocky knew that for sure. This was Steve's swan song. And it's wonderful. Wonderful, amazing, great match. With all this empathy and emotion I'm speaking about it with, I want to point out that it's a barn burner. I mean, it's a fight, but it's a Steve Austin fight. There are lots and lots of fucking right hands. So main event time. The legendary main event between Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle defending the WWE Championship with the stipulation of if he is counted out or disqualified, he will lose the championship to Lesnar. Well, usually this is just a silly kind of stipulation to screw somebody out of a belt or to show our heel's cowardice. This was just a way to have Kurt Angle and Brock guaranteed to have a one-on-one match, which is what Kurt wanted anyways, at least in real life. To me, I think Brock was still a little too green to be in this position. I've always felt that Steve and Steve and Rocky should have gone last, if not Hogan and Vince. But yeah, I get that tradition one out here because look, it was the only time Kurt Angle ever got to main event WrestleMania, and hell, damn sure don't want to take that away from him. So yeah, but I've always just it's a great match style. It's a terrific match. These guys had wonderful chemistry, and everybody knows the whole step with the finish. Brock hits the F5. Kurt Angle's the first guy to ever kick out of the F5. Even as a heel, that was awesome. Mania is necessary. Brock hits the second F5, goes for his indie finisher, the Shooting Star. Something happens. I mean, back when I was younger and more cynical, I was straight up said the man choked. I mean, you can still say he choked, because he choked. But, I mean, the kid nearly killed himself. The man damn near killed himself. Laying on the top of his head, almost broke his neck, had a severe concussion. Kurt did break his neck during the course of the match. Just landing wrong after getting kicked in the chest. And yeah, Brock just barely comes to his feet, hits a third F5 out of instinct and wins the match. And the show goes off the air with Kurt Angle helping him up, raising his hand. Michael Cole saying we'll see you next year in Madison Square Garden for WrestleMania 20. Fucking pyro's going off in the background, and Brock Lesnar just kind of standing there. Life out of his eyes. And if you've ever been knocked out or seen somebody knocked out, you knew Brock Lesnar was knocked the fuck out. And you're worried about him. To me, it's a great match, but there's two problems. The Benoit Angle match at the Royal Rumble from 2 months earlier was a better match and kind of way too similar. A lot of the same spots, you know what I mean? And secondly, the fact that both guys got seriously injured has always affected the rewatchability of this match for me. I always even though both guys ended up walking out okay and have been able to work for years on after, it's a hard match for me to watch. It always has been. Anyhow, as I said before, I think it's terrific. There's not a bad match on the card. The worst thing you can say about anything is there may be one or two ones. Oh, I gotta check this out. Say hello, people folk. You got ketchup on your face. That means you got ketchup face on my video. I'll go check in a second. Let me sign off. Anyhow, like I said, it's an amazing show. It's one of the best. It's my favorite WrestleMania of all time, and even if it's not your personal favorite, I'm sure if you've seen it, you would agree it is certainly one of. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to shoot one more video here today. I'm going to try to get out my 1960s Best Picture Oscar rankings. Anyhow, please like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.